Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we're sticking the injector rig back into the car. We're gonna keep an eye on this very specifically, which is an impact sensor. I'm going to do a few more experiments in full knowledge that there is nothing wrong with the fuel rail or the injectors. They're all fine. So you might say, oh, well, we failed then. No, we've learned a lot. We can focus on other things. So we know these work. We don't know that they are being given a signal to fire yet. But it equally means the best place for them for our further experiments is back in the car. Thanks to everybody who's been following along. These videos on starting steel seem to have really caught the imagination. Getting loads of people joining in with the comments. I'm enjoying them all. One or two of them are a little bit rude, I have to say. I can cope with that, that's not a problem. But please do remember when you're telling me to stop prattling around and get on with it and all the rest of it, and why haven't I done this? But this is my hobby. I'm making a film so that you guys can come along for the ride. And there is a degree to which I am making some films, so the sequence of events sometimes suits a bit of a story in a film, but I am not creating any false jeopardy. The reason the car's not started yet is not because I'm avoiding, I don't know, pressing a button that I know is going to start it. It's because I don't know how to start it yet. Got plenty of ideas, but yeah, be gentle. Let's get on with refitting this anyway. See if we can get him started. There is the fuel rail, yay. Leave that sitting there for a minute. Just brought my impact sensor back out, so I'll refer you back to my previous video if you're not seen about this, but I'm suspicious of this. It's not always clear when it's triggered, or it's not always resetting itself fully. So I can certainly reset it, and I've checked the contact. Checked the contacts and got it to work. I know what it feels like when it's reset through the rubber. So that's good. I'm going to reinstall this. But it is possible this was part of the issue, and it can be obviously replaced at a later date. It's only got one mounting leg, it should have two, but that won't interfere with operation. Let's check again. Not the easiest thing to check about the double jointed finger. Right, that's all sorted. Be aware that that is a positive supply, so be careful. Okay, with the impact sensor, I should say, our inertia switch reinstalled, turn the ignition on, and because LCD, you may not be able to see this display, but you have to trust me. What I do is I'm just going to probe the socket that goes on the back of the injectors. What I'm looking for is, should have a 12 volt supply permanent whilst the car is running. There it is. So I've got 12 volts on that side. And the other side is nothing. So the back contact is 12 volt supply, and it has got that. The other side should be switched earth. The car switches the earth on and off, and in doing so triggers the injector. Just try a second one just for thoroughness. Yeah, the back of the car has got a permanent 12 volt supply, so that's good. Now with the impact sensor removed, there's no supply there. So again, if that switch is damaged or badly connected, that could stop the engine from running. It could stop the injectors from firing because there'd be no supply, even though it might be giving the on-off signal on the earth side. So it is possible that that crash sensor on itself would be enough to have caused all this. Now I've just undone a few clips on the wiring loom just attached to the cam covers. So we can move this wiring a little further out of the way to help me reposition the fuel rail. I'm going to get the fuel in line back underneath the wiring loom, like so. Drop the injectors back down into the holes. That's good. Am I happy with that? No. That should be above this. How's that? This time, take that, this side of that. Where ultimately I could refer back to my own videos to see where it all was. Okay, so they're in the holes, if not fully in position just yet. So I'll leave that there. Not ideal filming outdoors, if I'm honest. I'm not sure how much you guys see because the sunlight isn't the best to film in. Okay, yeah, this airline wants to go over that fuel line. So let's get that released. I need a pair of pliers to help me squeeze that. These I think they're called Norma connectors are really hard to get your fingers around and grip properly. I don't want to break them. Another thing to fix. There we go. Right, let's take that. Down there. take my nuts, take the bolts out the manifold. Yay! And again, injectors in the right holes, if not yet pushed into place. Just undo the little fir tree connectors on the loom, gives a bit more wiggle room. There we go. And we're back. There we go. So there's the injector, just sort of poised over the hole. And you can see this gap here, that's how far I've got to push it down. So let's give that a little wriggle. And when it's all wriggled down into place sufficiently, these tabs should be more or less in contact with the top of the manifold. And I just remember there's one more bolt, holds the return fuel rail back to the back of the manifold. And I seem to remember it being a little bit of a bugger because the loom got in the way and I had to get it from underneath. So I'm just going to see if I've got it in my garage a shorter bolt, and that'll make that easier. That's a better bolt. Right. I can wriggle it in far enough by hand or with the pliers. Should be able to tighten it up then using the tiny ratchet and posi drive. I think one of my next must-have tools is a really good set of long nose pliers with good grips, as in serrated tip for gripping like this job. And just being able to grab hold of bolt heads and stuff like that. Turn them. So I'm just going to squirt some contact cleaner onto the contacts on the injectors. And get the clips that go in these connectors back in. See if I can give you a better shot. And there's a little slot here that you push this wire clip into. There we go. And when you push that onto the top of the injector, little barbs on either side of the injector that wire will snag on. They're the ones I whipped out to pull them off. So, 2, 3, 4, and then offer them all up at the same time. Make sure we're on at the right sort of angle, nice and straight, and push. and then try to pull each one back off, and the barbs should have hooked onto them wire clips. You shouldn't be able to pull them this way. Just 14mm spanner around it, and then force, yes, I heard it click. Force the line on. Get our return line hose back. Okay, so we know the injector system is fine. We don't know whether it's been triggered. We have changed camshaft and crankshaft sensors, which could be the issue. But the old ones looked okay. We have had a part cleaned up, shook around like crazy. The impact sensor could be an issue. Let's give it a quick go. We won't have a really good battery at this stage, so that is an issue. Oh my God! Victory is mine! Oh. I'll take that. Loads of smoke come out the back. That could be airlock. Fuel system has been empty. But that started clean. That ran good. Oh, what does it mean? It probably means it was a crankshaft or camshaft sensors. Because if it was the impact sensor, I don't know. Let's go for another start. That was as close as we've been. Let's check the fuel rig. Fuel's flowing back down the return line. Doesn't want to kick straight back up. Battery. Energy of the coils might be a bit low because poor battery. So got to consider that. I think what I'll do, I'm going to put the test relay in and just pump fuel through the system so I know we're not airlocked. So we're currently pumping fuel. It's going around the system, past all the injectors, defeating the pressure relief valve, and then going back to the tank. So that's good, because that's what's supposed to happen. This held back my airline pressure, no problem, which was set at 2 bar. My pump is 3 bar. Right, the standard relay's back in. Right. Is that a coincidence? Let's put the test relay back. And I'm leaving the test relay on, so it's continuously pumping fuel. Wow, we're getting close. So this now, we can eliminate, I know a lot of you said it, it's at a timing. It runs, so it isn't. So timing belt, timing chain, sorry, have not jumped, they've not slackened. There's no issue there. Electronically, the car is capable of running itself, so the ECU is fine, which is a biggie, because if the ECU had been gone, yeah, I mean, even I'd be questioning myself, because yes, I can resolder joints. Swapping the ECU means swapping key barrels, dashboard, a few other bits and pieces, instrument panel, I should say, coding. The car can run. We know it's getting loads of fuel. Theoretically, it could still be lacking pressure, because this pressure relief valve is too easily released. I can obviously restrict that if I want, but I really don't think it is that, because you saw those injectors test firing with 2 bar of pressure. It's getting some fuel, as long as they're firing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to park this one here again. What for you guys has been, I don't know, maybe it's 20 minutes or half an hour video, I'm not sure. For me is 4 hours, real time, just because real life and backwards and forwards in the garage, staring, pointing, thinking. I'm very pleased with the progress. This is going to run. I'm looking forward to your suggestions and comments on this now. So I can compression check the engine. I know a lot of you want me to compression check the engine. That's not an issue, I can do, but equally, I think you can see, it isn't a problem with an engine that has no compression. It could still have been a ball wash problem because it's been parked for a long time, but made it difficult to restart. But it doesn't stink of fuel out the back, so it's not flooding. So if it was a problem like that, it should already, just that little run, should have built up enough pressure and blown oil in the right places. It is possible I have genuinely fouled my plugs sufficiently that they won't fire properly anymore. Saw all the white smoke coming out, I guess. That's the oil burning off, which is a good thing. So it might be a case of pull the plugs again. And I may completely disarm the intelligent sounder, just because they can cause issues. It'd be quite good to get that out of the loop. We're getting there, we're getting there. We will get this car running, but it's still a mystery. Right, I'm going to say ta-ra, leave it there, and see you again soon on To The Garage. Thank you, all of my many subscribers, 30,000 plus of you now. Love you all. If you're interested in any of the gadgets, gizmos and tools that I use in my videos, then very often I'll put a link to relevant items in the description below the video, but you can also go to amazon.co.uk/shop/to the garage, and that will give you the To the Garage storefront. These are not things I'm selling, it's just a link to all of the Amazon based items that I've bought over the years which are relevant to the channel. Nice little feature. Thank you very much, Amazon. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos.